Dokie, we are back in the building. Thank you all for coming and showing up every week. So we are still doing our candidate interviews, giving candidates the opportunity to have their own time to talk about what they are looking to do in the districts they're running for. And we are on District 33, Senate District 33. And we had Dr. Roslyn Osgood last week. And this week we have the second person running in for that same seat. And that's Terry A. Williams Edden. Terry is a civil rights and community leader for over 30 years, fighting against impediments in our judicial system, fighting against inequalities in our educational system, formed the first measures to keep students from being arrested in our school system. She has championed fair labor practices in the workplace, fighting against elderly abuse while standing for fairness and equality for all. She's a business owner, consultant, mediating cases and representing those from low to moderate incomes. So we are welcoming her today. My co-host Sandra Shefrayer and myself for Racing the Racist. Click, share, and subscribe. We're on Facebook and YouTube. Please tell your friends about us. And let's get into it. Miss Edden, Edden Williams. Tell us a little bit about yourself, not just what I read, but a little bit more. Give people so people can see who you really are. So talk a little bit about who you are, what you've done in the community, and why have you decided to run? I don't know if this is the second time, Miss Edden, but I think it's the second time you've run for this seat, and why you're so passionate about District 33.
Well, I'm Terry Ann Williams Edden. I'm a graduate of Nova University, Barry University, went to Alabama State University, majoring in public administration, a master's in managing educational programs, a bachelor's in business and professional studies. I do have a private business of my own, where I am the CEO of it, Edden Consulting Services. I'm an advocate. I've been doing it for over, since the age of 14. I was kind of pushed into the mix with my father because during those times, at a young age, a lot of times people in our community did not know how to acquire the Social Security or the certificates because a lot of them came from different parts of the world. And my father would utilize my skills as well as his and take me around to certain areas to help his friends and people that were in need of Social Security benefits and different things that they were applying for in their lives. So that's how I got my start. I worked in the Broward County School Board for many years, been in education for over 20 years. I opened up the first charter schools in Palm Beach County and also Sarasota, Florida. I've worked with the Department of Economic Opportunity, dealing with unemployment and those measures. I was an adjudicator in DOE. I also worked at the state of Florida, which is Health and Rehabilitative Services, what you now call is a department of, is DFAC, they call it, where you deal with children. And I worked in volunteer family services and also placed children into shelter homes when there was a need. So those are some of the things I've done. I worked in municipalities since the age of 14, having a relative who was a mayor and Commissioner E. Pat Lockins for over 25 years. I got my start in dealing with judicial matters because I did the first mock trial when I was in high school at 14 years old, and I was fascinated by it. And I decided that I would go ahead and move forward in my life. And like I said, these things fell in my lap. It was not something that I grew up and said, oh, I want to be in civil rights. That was a title that was given to me by the world and people. I've serviced people in the educational system. I've advocated for teachers to keep their jobs when there was an unlawful termination. In other words, with not just cause. I spearheaded the first measures in keeping our students from being arrested in the school system. You might have heard somebody else say they did it, but they didn't. It started with Blanchard High School, Dr. Wright, Ben Williams, myself, and Sheriff Lamberti at the time, along with the state attorney's office, when they came together to discuss those measures and why our students were being arrested. They felt like those should be done to professional standards within the school board to leave it within their purview. Now there's a citizen citation and all those things that have been put in place. I also worked with Jim Otter many years ago, a violence program, dropout prevention measures, and we had different, like say, churches, like for instance, Mount Bethel, not Mount Bethel, Mount Olive, with Matt King Carter. He had formed a location where our troubled kids can come, uh, dropping out, or if they were concerned and suspicious of they were being able to go to that school, to be able to his location until they were able to re-enter themselves back into the public school system. I worked in the public sector for many years, EEOC cases, EEO cases. I've also represented people in the current system, the judicial system, in administrative hearings. They would do those things, labor relations, when some of our educators were terminated. I would do those cases for them, the UAC, unemployment. I would also represent individuals if they were unlawfully terminated and their unemployment stopped and they needed someone to represent them. I've done that as well. So I really have an arsenal of a background. I dealt with police brutality measures. I get students out of jail, even Coral Springs and Fort Lauderdale areas, even Pompano Beach, just because of my ability to be able to have a conversation and to make sure that the rest, if they were founded, then fine. But if there is any level of discrimination or anything that took place, I thank God for giving me an opportunity to be able to do those things, and just having that reputation of who I am. I'm former legal redress of the North Broward County NAACP, which was under the auspices of Mr. Willie L. Lawson, the late Willie L. Lawson III of Pompano Beach. And we became the spearhead of our county until Marsha Ellis is now, I guess, dealing with the Fort Lauderdale measure. But before she was thought about, I dealt with Roosevelt Walters and also Bill McCormick at that time, who were the presidents in the Fort Lauderdale area. So when they had troubles and problems, we would also embark on their land to go ahead and assist with those concerns throughout not just the county, but throughout the state of Florida. And it's just an arsenal of wealth of having knowledge and direction for people. I'm former director of the Rainbow Push with the Reverend Jesse Jackson. The way I got involved with him is that we had starbursting in our school systems. At the time, I lived in Parkland, me and my children, my husband, my family. And they were having concerns in the inner city neighborhoods where our students were being subject to being bused out of the inner city neighborhood schools to go ahead and be bused out west. So starbursting was stopped because that would cause us to be a little segregated. We were trying to make sure we weren't going to be segregated. We wanted their children to come to us as well. A lot of us fought hard. We lost our jobs. We went back and won our jobs to sacrifice ourselves to be able to have that done. I utilized my children. Well, my oldest child, Trey, he demised on February 7th of this year, a very untimely death, very bright man, majored in psychology. He wanted to go to Blanchard High School, although he was zoned for MSD, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. And he was afforded opportunity to go to the Broward Academy at BCC, but also be a part of Blanche Early. And we wanted to see the difference in how students were treated, how the different makeup of the work habits, and what they had. Because out west they were able to bring books home. Sometimes in the inner city they didn't have enough books to take home. So by him having a private school experience and also had wanted to go to public school, it was a great transition for him. And he was a 3-year student, getting out very early. So those are some of the things that I made sure my children understood what civil rights was. Having northern blood and being a part of the north of Harlem and also Brooklyn, I wanted to make sure they knew when we were in the South what that was about. So that is who I am in a nutshell. I've done a lot of things throughout the state. I work in the judicial system at the current time. The reason I got there was I spoke to Michael J. Stats and myself and Willie Lawson. I wanted to know what they were doing. Why is it a lot of Black children were coming in the system? We have more of them being arrested in other races. And we kind of like pitted, and I said, well, give me an opportunity, give me a job. Just joking, being jovial about it. And he gave me an opportunity to serve under his auspices, which I thank him for that. I've now we have a new state attorney that is taking the ham, whatever it is that he's going to be doing with the state attorney's office. But it gave me an opportunity to see how victims, were being basically what we do, represent the victim, the situation of the victim, Like I worked in the sex bat unit. I worked in FTU, which is felon trial unit, and also now I'm in the domestic violent unit. And now I have a different outlook on how things are done in the judicial system. I know sometimes we're on the outside, we feel like always there's an injustice against us. And when you get an opportunity to work in the system, you understand it's not about that. We're representing victims. They're people too, they're citizens too. And they need those safeguards and those protections. And I've done a lot of mediations. I've done a lot of advocacy throughout the state of Florida. The reason that I'm vying for, I ran in 2008, had some concerns, wasn't very fortunate. I said it not about the race. My son Trey died from home 19. Came from Hampton, for his hamstring, soon acquired cancer. And while I was in the middle of my race, he came home. I found out he had cancer. So I made that call to Christopher Smith, graduated, continued the race. Now,
Miss Williams, I don't want to cut
yes.
you, but you're coming in and out. Can we fix because I want people to hear what you're saying. Can we fix the I don't know if it's the Wi-Fi or whatever. We've been having issues with Wi-Fi all week, so it's not just you.
Everybody has. Okay, you hear me now?
Much better, much better. Go ahead.
Okay. As I was saying, at 19, my son acquired rhabdomyosarcoma when I was in the middle of the race of 2008, vying for Senate. Christopher Smith was supposed to be with Governor Davis. Well, Davis was running to become governor before Rick Scott. And that didn't work out for Christopher Smith. So he ended up jumping into the 2008 race to run for Senate. I was already going to vie for this seat. But because of the situation with my son, I just continued to stay in the race by faith, basically only, and really be in New York because my son required the best of care. And we went to Sloan Kettering in New York City. So that caused a debacle in my running for the seat then. I had run again for county commission against Mark Bogan. Went on to run against Perry Thurston. I informed him 2 years before I was going to run because he had rumored and had spoke that he was going to against Alcee Hastings, which I know he wouldn't have done that. But I got in the race and it was too late for me to say that I would withdraw just because he had a change of heart, not vying against one of the most vigorous men of our time, Congressman Hastings. So I ended up running against Perry Thurston. I acquired 18,805 votes. And I felt proud because we beat him at the polls. Of course, he got 30,000 ballots as such as other individuals that ran. I've never seen everybody acquire the same number. But the current state attorney acquired 30,000 ballots. The public defender, 30,000 ballots. Also, Joe Scott, 30,000 ballots. Not 31,000, but 30,000 ballots. So we knew that, hey, we did well, myself and Ruby Green, who also vied to be a public defender at the time. So what puts me in the race at this point, once we did not take over the seat, my son talked to me afterwards. He was one of the people who ran my campaign, and we knew that Alcee was criminal. And he said, well, there's a re-election, we'll run for that, and we'll take our vow if we're the person to do it. So even though he's demised, I want to continue to do that. I knew that I had the ability to serve the entire district. I know people say they love their district and their city, but I know the entire district. And I know what the needs are and the confinements of where we are, where there are systemic problems. And we have continued to allow other individuals to serve us for years. I'm 55 young. And when I tell you, I have never been pleased with anybody that has represented us other than Congressman Hastings in our district, because it looks the same. I mean, it's sad when my children came from a different side of the world, and when they came on the side of the pond of the East, and they'll say, Mom, how come it is so different over here and over there it's a different type of life? It's because of the leadership. It's because of the local government as well as the county. And when you're on a state level, you are appropriating funds to these districts, and you mean to tell me you don't have the authority to go in and find out why they're not being utilized within the areas from which are have systemic problems and concerns? So that pushed me to say, you know what, let me revive this, because no one is better able to serve me than me. And it was said last night on a podcast, my opponent stated, oh, I'm rerunning for a seat, just running for a seat. And then she says, I put my name in to be appointed. You damn right I did. And let me tell you why. Number one is I'm revying because my name is still valid proof. I just got a break. And second of all, you're advocating your seat along with the 5 stooges. Why not put in to be appointed to serve in those areas that are gravely important, and where we have now allowed the governor to appoint people in the seat, for which we just told someone last year in 2020 August that we want to be in the seat. So to me, you lied. You're liars, because if you did, you would have stayed and continued to serve those people. My opponent spent over $300,000 against me in the last race, and you get out of your seat to run for Congressman Hasty, 11 people. So you're really not there for the sake of the people. You're there for your career path. And for me, what sets me apart, my opponent, and I don't want to really talk about people because I don't want to bash, but I want to get it out. My opponent has served on the school board, and she was blessed by God to be there because she was not the most qualified person to serve, and she was not the pick when she first ran. It was Tori Austin. But because of his debacle and the piece that he sent out, emotional and that sympathy appeal was given to her to make her this school board person. I have not been pleased with what I've seen, and whether she was in this race or not, I've never been pleased with what I see in the behavior of our elected officials. And I mean, I know some people want to be a bully, but I want you to show me what you've done. And there are bond issues in the school board era where it has not been solidified where those funds are. When you have a school like Rickers and the roof falling down on students, then you are the school board chair, and that's your school. They should have had the best of confinement. Northeast is a mess, and Blanche Yulee is a mess. So the board member that represents us, we need a gate, we need a ramp, and they're telling us we got to wait. So of course, like I said, I separate myself. The difference between me and her, she might say she makes policy, but without me fighting for her and people like me, you wouldn't have been able to be on a board to fight for policies. And when she says I'm rerunning and rerunning, well, the president of the United States today has ran so many times, and now he's acquired that seat. So us running, like I would tell anybody in civil rights, if the slaves didn't keep running and fighting, we wouldn't be free. If Dr. King and Malcolm weren't who they were, and many others out there, the Bolts and all of us, you wouldn't be able to have a seat at the lunch counter. So it's okay for us to keep running until we put the right person in place to be able to deal with systemic problems. And I know what I can do that she might not be able to do. I don't see it happening. Go to Tallahassee. The goal is to be able to mitigate and negotiate. And I don't think she has that skill, because you believe that you're going to go and make the governor do something, and he already doesn't care for you on the school board. You're not the one to be able to even give us a chance or a shot of change. And I am that person. I can cross party lines. I know how to talk to people. I know how to negotiate and mitigate issues for my people. Even if you might not get it all, but at least you want to get something. So I don't want to be saying I'm going to be bold and brash and uncouth and highly unprofessional, saying I'm going to Tallahassee and I'm going to make these things happen for somebody, because that's not the way life works. And so I don't want to promise anybody anything to give them false hope. But some of the main concerns that I do have, and what I would like to see changes in recidivism. And when you're asked what are the most important things that your people are suffering in your community, why would you say voting? Why would you vote if you can't? If you don't have affordable housing, you can't speak, but you worry about voting. People, Black people, period, always know. They always say that there's nothing going to change. And I believe that recidivism is high in that area and throughout certain parts of the district where people come out of prison and can't get jobs, so there's a revolving door. Education, we have concerns with our students having the best of care. As far as our teachers, they need money.
Miss Edden.
Oh, I'm sorry, moving on.
No, I'm sorry. So, okay, so,
go ahead.
All right, okay. So, I'm glad you were able to say all this stuff, and I didn't want to interrupt you, but I was taking notes, and then there's a few things I want to follow up on some of the things you said. Thank you, that introduction. One of the things that we do on our platform is that this is a space for candidates to be able to say all the things that they really don't get to say when they're on other platforms, which I'm not criticizing that setup because that, you need to see people being able to answer questions in 2 minutes. But I also think there needs to be a space where they can really talk about all of the things that they want to do, right? And then I also know that you have some time constraint too. So I wanted to really just get these issues because I believe you have another event like at 6:30. So I really wanted to, just clarify some points that you wanted to make. All right. So I didn't get to say who I was in the beginning, but my name is Dan Sanders Sheffrey. I'm the other co-host. So, you guys have seen me. All righty. Okay, so I'm listening to all the things that you've been able to do. So I'm just like, well, she only 55 years young. It sounds like she's been working for 50 years already, just with all the things that she's done so far, right? So and then I have a couple brains that work while I'm listening to people, right? Because I'm also a lawyer, so I got my lawyer brain be kicking in. I have an MBA, so I got a business brain that be kicking in too. So sometimes I just need to. I hear things differently, All right. So one of the things that you were saying that you were helping individuals with benefits, right? When you were like 14 years old, your father had you helping folks with benefits. And I kind of want to understand that just a little bit better. So were you just kind of helping them because they couldn't read and write and you were helping with the paperwork? Or was it really that you understood the benefits, Social Security and all those different systems and you were able to do something more than just assist with the application process?
Okay, well, I was very smart child, intelligent. And what happened is my father was a northerner. He came to the South. A lot of people, like I was saying, how many come from different places. You much younger than me. So this is like
no, I'm not that much younger than you.
Okay, well, anyway. Okay, well, you look at well, bless you. Well, what happened is my father we had like a restaurant here. It was called Lombo's Fish Market, and a lot of people used to hang around, came from different parts of the world, like Georgia. They couldn't really read and understand what they needed. Mm-hmm. So he would ask me to come help some of them with their reading. I just could do it. Mm-hmm. And fill out the documentation for them. I would make phone calls and do whatever I had to do at a young age. And I would even help them apply and write back to different states, but they didn't even have birth certificates, and they had to get that and apply for the Social Security card. And those are the things he wanted me to see, because even when I went to college, I didn't want to go to Alabama State. I wanted to go to Xavier somewhere in Jersey. He said no, because I want you to go stay in the South so you can understand people better. And I thank him for it today. Before I did. So, it just gave me that opportunity to be able to serve people. And I've been doing this, always helping somebody. Now, they might not help me, but I have helped them.
That's all right. You get your blessings in a different way.
Oh, yeah.
It ain't the person that you help that you get your blessings from. You get it from somewhere else, and it's all good. And then the other thing that you talked about is that you said that you were involved in establishing some charter schools, if I understood you correctly. What were the name of those schools? Are they still in existence?
Well, you asked me. I probably can't remember them, but they were in Palm Beach County, the first charter schools. I don't know all the names. Like I said, it started in 2000, and I want to say when was 9/11. That's when it started.
2001.
Yeah. Oh, I did it through ABS School Financial Services. We also provided financial hiring principles and things. I also had to go to Palm Beach County to acquire your funds. Well, I can't remember all of it.
No, I understand that. Okay, so so that whole conversation about public versus charter schools, where do you stand on that? Because there's this whole thing about like charter schools are and now also some religious schools are taking money from the public school system, and that's not supposed to be the case. So would that be something that you would advocate to fund public schools better and or more, or are you you're in support of the way the charter school system exists and the fact that people can take money out of public school and go into private schools?
I believe in funding the public school more, but let me just talk about my life, why I'm like a twofold. My children, they grew up. I worked in the public schools many years ago.
Yeah, what did you do in public schools? That was like my next question, actually. What did you do when you worked in the public schools?
I worked for Jim Nottingham as an assistant to them.
Okay. All right.
And I also worked in the classroom for a brief period when I came from Alabama State. That was wonderful. So what I was saying is that my children, I didn't put them in public. I put them in private because that's what my father, my husband came up north. So I utilized those services. And my son was like, say you turned 2 or 3 before a certain date, and it would have kicked him back. So I was able to put him in a private school where he stayed on task. He was born in December. So I wanted them in school sooner than the time frame that they had in the public. They have a cutoff for age time, whatever. So that's how my children end up in the private sector, in the private school sector. They went to public school, and when I opened up the charter schools, it was an job opportunity that was much greater than what I had in the public school system. And that's how I got involved with open charter schools. Do I believe that we should have smaller class sizes? I know that we have voted many years that the public school system classroom is supposed to be smaller class size instead of 40 students, 30 students in the classroom, and they have not really given that to you all. So that's why people chose to do charter schools as a smaller setting. But the funding, I believe that we must fund the public sector because you are a much larger sector. And charter schools are more like semi-private because students are even called French charter. They have smaller class size, and that's why people utilize those services. I don't believe we should top the money up from the district, but of course, you know that charter schools get their money from your district to be able to function.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I mean, my kids go to. I have one of my kids in charter and the other one's in public, and they actually are. Their class sizes are about the same. It's 26,
Really?
27 kids. Yes. It's 27, 26
your daughter,
kids in
your
each of their
child
classes.
Okay. What school is your child?
Oh, my son's at
The public
Somerset.
school.
Well, I don't want to tell the name of her school, but she goes to middle school, and she's in middle school in West Broward. So yeah. And the classroom sizes are the same. There's 26, 27 of them, and the class sizes are the same.
Oh,
yeah. And I have twins, so they, the schools are the same. My child has special needs, so I have him in public school for services, and then my son, he's in a charter school because he needs to be smaller. Originally it was supposed to be smaller, but the class sizes are the same. So, but hey. But that's it. That's neither here or there. And then you also said you did some stuff with so I don't know if it was like HRS at the time or DCF, because I also worked for HRS, because you were talking about you did placement and that type of thing. And I was a social worker before I went to law school, so I'm about that. I'm about that placement life. So I saw them because I'm looking at all the different skill sets that you had. And then you also said something about educating for teachers, and I think, but I'm not sure, that you're saying that you're one of the people that spearheaded the Promise program. I just want to make clarify is that what you're saying?
Yes, you got that right. And Marsha Ellis, as well as Osgood, know the truth. It's like Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks wasn't the first person to sit on the bus and didn't move. It was the lady in Virginia. So what we did in Pompano Beach, we spearheaded that before they got the name. And when they met with us, it was Lamberti, Chef Lamberti, Ben Williams, it was myself, Willie Lawson III, and Dr. Clinton Wright from Blanche Ely High School. We had those meetings and those discussions along with the state attorney's office division, the misdemeanor division. And once Scott Israel won the race, that was an election year, so Lamberti was no longer in office. And Scott Israel took his fight to Lauderdale, but they were not the first ones to come up with this idea. And I'm sure she will want to stand corrected on that, as she has in the past, because people want to take something and say what they did. You did not do that. I got people out of jail. Not only that, I made sure they weren't arrested in our school system. And Miss Ernestine Price can speak to that also, a civil rights leader in Pompano. People tend to get lost when it comes to what they want to say they did and how they're a champion for something. Well, let's be a champion for the truth. And I'm going to continue to speak on what I know I have done.
All right. Okay. All right. And then okay. So then now let's stick on that. And then you said you did you were able to represent some folks, and then you were able to help students get out of jail and all that. And I want to know how you do, how is it that you could represent someone if you're not an attorney or anything like that? And then how did you get them out of jail? So tell me, explain that part.
When I represent people, when I tell you about administrative hearings and those things, you don't have to be a lawyer. You don't have to have a doctorate. That's how I represent.
But if somebody's in jail, that's not necessarily administrative. Okay, so I want to clarify.
No, they weren't represented in jail. What I would do is be called to the jail to get them out of jail before processing. So you wouldn't have them as a person. Like for instance, in Coral Springs, they had one of my boys or somebody I know, not my child, but a student or somebody I know, like a young man, and I get a call with this happened, whatever happened. I'm going as the NAACP. I went as legal redress to them, and of course they'll be like, okay, Terry, we don't want the issue, what happened, whatever. Okay, well, you can release them to me. And that's what I did. That's what we do in civil rights. We make sure they don't go down in the process. Because once they're processed, need a lawyer. At that point, you're gonna have a public defender represent you if you don't have a lawyer, and then the process will take place. But my job was to get you out if I can before the process you take you downtown, and then represent your teachers. For instance, I can't say names. For instance, you have a teacher that possibly faced with unlawful termination or being able to be terminated or something happens. Years ago, I worked with professional. Well, I would go to professional standards. It wasn't Wager. I can't think of his name. The gentleman, he's no longer there. But what happened is, I'm giving you a situation. Had a teacher at Blanche Healy. They was facing termination. Got a call to assist the individual as legal redress of the NAACP, and also through my business ed and consultant service. And I would make the call to professional standards because they would be making those decisions to put it before the board. And when they met with these individuals, gave my the opportunity to be able to cure a problem. They might not have been able to go back to Blanche Healy, but they was able to go to other schools, keep them deployable. Also, I assisted one of your principals who had all kind of problems, moved from Blanche Healy to Monarch and then back to Dillon. Just my voice alone to Superintendent Jim Nada asked for this man to be able to have a job. He became the principal at my alumni, and I won't say this. Well, I said Blanche Healy High School. He might not be doing the best right now, acquired the job because of my. Okay. So it's a lot of things that I've done that for. A lot of students, I've kept them from being arrested, or if they were speaking to the officer, the respect that they have for someone that they know I'm standing up for justice, not for me, because I have to worry about my children. I knew what.
Now I understand that, because I do know that you can intervene before things go.
Oh yeah.
So, okay. So I just wanted to have that clarification in my mind, and just because one of the things that that's really important, I think, is that you want all elected officials. The credibility is everything, right? So you don't want them to. You don't want to give an impression they'd be like, she out here lying or something like that. So if we can clarify that and make that point, it's better, because that's the last thing you want, right? If someone
one thing I'm not gonna do. I might retire, but I ain't gonna lie to you. It's definitely not about that, because I got a track record even right now. Even some chiefs, some police officers tell you, thank you for my job. They lucky they didn't lose them. So some of them I go after and take them too. So
all right.
I just wanted to clear that up. I was like, how that happened? But I do understand that. Yeah, there is a mission process. And then I think when you were talking about you were one of the directors of Rainbow Push, maybe that was like a sub office here in Broward.
I was under the auspices of attorney Levi Williams. He was the person that was spearheading here in South Florida. And he appointed me to be the director of recruitment for the Rainbow Push Coalition here in Broward.
Okay, yeah, because I went to college in Chicago, and I used to go to Push it, Chicago. So we did all that. So I have I have some understanding of it. But then you said something that's about Starburst. I'm not sure if I heard that word correct, and I'm not familiar with it.
Starburst, they call it Starburst. And what it was, just as we had him come down with the concerned citizens, Furtick and Grambling. The law office of Furtick and Grambling, I think the children was at Hollywood Hills, I want to say. I'm not sure right now what the direct name is. Hollywood Hills, I believe it was. And they were in these schools. There was some concerns about being moved to different schools. Then it flipped back down into the inner city neighborhoods where students weren't wanting to come to our schools, but possibly wanted our students to be bussed out. And we fought on that. We fought to make that not happen. And I fought with Reverend Jackson, Jesse, and Ernestine Price, Levi Williams, and the concerned citizens of Pompano Beach, along with Furtick and Graham. And those are the things they did. And, they even won a lawsuit behind that a couple of years ago. In fact, the district had to pay out millions of dollars regarding that. I think Furtick and Graham did it, and a couple of the parents whose kids were directly affected by it, they were the ones that received the settlement.
Oh, and this was through the district. And if what you're saying, I think that's why one of the committees in the district was created. A diversity committee was created.
The diversity committee, right? They used to have Dorsey Miller used to be over there years and years. I don't know if you know Mr. Dorsey. Dorsey used to be over there years and years ago, and that was created.
Yes, that was created. So I have a question, and so because we know you have to go, you have another event to go to. So what are the top 3 pressing issues in District Senate 33 that you believe that is affecting your constituents, and what are your plans to do when you get to Tallahassee to alleviate these top pressing issues? What do you believe that they are in your district?
Well, I have a twofold district of constituents. You have the inner city and you have the western community. and you have the seniors that impact all of that district. First of all, you want to put safeguards around your seniors, doing reform of that expansion of that Medicaid. Because when they have Medicare, that Part D is important to them. Although the governor sent the money back to the federal government, it should have been expanded. Yes, he did.
Yeah, we know.
Okay.
We know.
And when you're talking about our community policing, that is important to me because I fought those issues. That dialogue, that accountability must be set because we are at the end of that barrel, and I have a problem with that. Educational concerns. We have teachers right now. The teachers are faced with the district wanting to pay you. I want to say, is it 3.1? Not even a full 1%, and the union is trying to negotiate 3.5%. Y'all need money. You need money so you can be trained properly to the test, so that you can teach the students to understand what a test is.
What's up with that lotto money though? I mean, okay, so we're around the same age. You remember when they was trying to when they convinced people to get the lotto in Florida, they said the money was gonna go to education. So as much scratch off ticket games that I see, and they got lotto like almost every day and 2 times a day on some of the days or whatever, right? So it appears that the lotto is making money. They keep on adding to it. So I don't understand why the school systems have any financial issues. So
they shouldn't have any issue.
As a senator,
they shouldn't have no issue. I would mandate that those monies are put within my district, and I won't be talking about greedy teachers don't need no money. Y'all need all the money in the world. You need proper training. You need books. You need better serving schools. Some of them are dilapidated. Y'all got all kind of problems going on in these schools that nobody want to talk about. Mental illness with our students being confined and COVID, and now they coming out. They don't even like themselves. Some of them even still think they're on a computer. So you got some big issues that need to be done. So my issues are far greater than 3. And reforming and expanding, and basically, like I said, it's educational thing, because I don't understand why one side of the globe you can read better, know math, and on the other side you don't. That is a problem. That is a grave problem. So if anybody
plan on mandating that money,
I would be working with the Republicans and anybody else to say we need to mandate this money down there because they need to be paid all over the state, not just in Broward County. Because when you are a legislator, you are in place to do what? You're going to advocate for the entire state. No matter what that one vote is, you might say you love your district, but you affect the entire state of Florida. And you got to be able to see systemic changes that we need. We got our brothers and sisters on the street corners, can't get no job, economic opportunities, small businesses, making that money available for them. I write articles of incorporation. I do bylaws. Why is it you can't do what you need? 501c3s, even for profits. Give them the opportunity to be served. For instance, I want to say this. We had legislators came back last year. They bragged about bringing $1 million to Broward County. But they took it to the Urban League, and they didn't even tell the entire district, but they told them to confined by Delaware Park and Sixth Trunk about the money. What about other people? $1 million? And I don't want to be the type of representative that's going to come back and complain, oh, the Republicans did this. No, you already know the Republicans. If you own your house, you got to knock on the door to get in. So my goal would be able to cross those party lines, to be able to negotiate and mitigate my concerns for my constituents and making them understand that it's their constituents as well. Despite what the letter is, the aura of the D, it doesn't matter to me. Those are concerns that really press me. And that is why I run so much. Like somebody said, you just run. Yeah, I'm running because now it's time to put the right people in place, and the people that they're putting in place, they can't even speak. They don't understand what they're talking about. And you got to be kidding me. Get the recycle bin. We need to get rid of the recycle bin. Put some new people in. One thing I can affirm, if I am appointed or when I'm appointed or when I get this seat, I affirm to my constituents, I will not advocate. I don't care what other opportunity it is, because I'm not worried about the money. My thing, because ain't no money there. The bottom line is fighting for the constituents in that district. Making sure we can come up with sustainable law, not just for us in the inner city. It's bigger than that. You got the Western communities, you got seniors and HOAs and paying rent, and it's skyrocketing. They're suffering like everybody else. Yeah. They want a clear path, and that's what we need to be working on. And that's just who I am, because I've lived on both sides of the pond. I was raised in the inner city. I raised my children in Park and Coral Springs, so they've had a life. They've been back and forth throughout this state and everywhere else. And I understand the common man.
That's right. Well, all right.
I need you to get that school money. Just get that lotto money to the schools for me. That's you know, like put that on the list of things that you're gonna do in the 4 years that you're over there, or 3 years or whatever. Because there's no, to me, there's absolutely no excuse why all of these programs are out of these schools, right? Like when I was in school, we had typing, we had wood shop, we had all the technical skills that the boys. I mean, my classmates, they're making way more money than me with all the degrees I have from the skills that they learned when we was in middle and high school. Like for real, like the woodshop dudes.
Oh, don't say that.
And all of that. They please, you know what I mean? I gotta call them, and they like, and then when they give me the estimate, I'll be like, "But we know each other." They're like, "Whatever," you know what I'm saying? You just need to pay me, right?
Don't even talk about what's the matter working, making more money. I have a master's in public administration, understanding how to run government. I have a master's in leadership education, how to even do managing educational programs, and VPK license. Are you serious? And a bachelor's in business, and I get low paid for other people. Are you serious? It's time to go. It's time to make some adjustments in that life, you know. And that's what I'm talking about. I want to make sure that people you need to have evaluations to show why you're making this money. The person have a degree, pay them comparable to what that is, and give them the opportunity to have the skill. That's what's happening all over the world. I'm like, are you serious? And kids look at you nowadays and say, why should I go to college if I do this? They don't even want to go to college.
More money than me. I'm like, how much does wig cost? What? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know how long I had to work to make this money? You about to take it in like 6 hours? Are you kidding me? You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
I know that's right.
But that part of it too is like, yes, we need to we need folks educated, but we also need to put these cosmetology and all the technical stuff back in schools too, because not everybody's going to college, right? That's everybody true. Not going. Everybody don't have to go, but everybody should have some sort of skill set and ability to earn income. Yeah,
and but those programs need to be back in the school system.
I ain't trying to tell you, but I need you to get that lotto money back in these schools for me. Like, you know, I need you to go ahead and put that on the list of stuff.
Oh, for the best.
You know what I'm saying? I need that to happen. And on that piece too, there's some paid petitioners that's walking these here streets now that are trying to get people to sign off on some casinos or something, because they're also saying that, yeah, you know, the money may go to education. And I'm like, okay, so first it said may. That's already a problem. That didn't say will, it didn't say shall. So you know, I don't think you should support that since it said may, because they could change their mind and not do it at all.
That's the key word, may. That means it's not going to go.
It ain't gonna happen, right? They're gonna get their casinos and they're gonna be like, well, we said we may do it. We said we will do it. We didn't say we shall do it, and all that kind of stuff too. So that's another thing. So there's a whole nother movement out here to try to get some more gambling type things, and they're pimping education, you know, to do that. And again, it's not gonna happen. So if y'all get stopped by them paid petitioners, like, I ain't trying to hate them people hustle, but that thing say may. Pay attention to that. May don't mean shall, and it does not mean will. And Terry gonna go up there, she gonna just say, all right, Sandra told me to go ahead and get this lotto money in the schools. Let me try to do that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Well, I have to say
my trick.
We need that.
I have to say, Terry, it's a pleasure talking to you, because, you know, when you talk to candidates as much as we do, and those who are elected officials versus those who are not elected officials, it's a breath of fresh air to hear someone from the community and really know what they're gonna do. Like, really know that this is what it is. This is how we're gonna help people. And it's not things that you think, it's things that you know by talking with the people, being part of the community. And so it's important that you have people like that representing. I know for now, and we've had this conversation between me and you, Terry, that I'm really not happy with the elected officials here in Broward, and I'm not happy with elected officials actually nationwide. You know, it's the same people, and they don't put people first. It's always their priorities over the people. And one thing that Sandra and I always kind of talk about is that the power, it's not about the people in power, but the power of the people. And if it's not in that order, then it doesn't make sense for people to run for office if you're not going to put the people first. And so we really appreciate you, because we know that you're pressed for time, and we want you to have
I'm okay. I bought some time, but I do want to say something to you. And people don't understand. As I said last time on the podcast, I was on the Democrat Forum, and it was like I said, I'm running. They don't understand. Back in the old days, I like to say, when people ran, they ran for the cause of the issue. And without us fighting for them to be able to have those lines drawn for us to have people that represent us, they have bamboozled a lot of us. And like I tell anybody, I'm better served for you in office, but if I'm not, I'm more dangerous to you because then I'm going to regulate. And that's what I do. So if somebody comes on and say, well, Terry, there's not one candidate I have ever ran with that I have heard say anything on a podcast or Zoom to me, except the one I am with now. Because I have no one, I respect women, but when I look at a woman or a man, you're representing and you're doing it in a manner that is unacceptable. And I don't like to be put in a box by people to say that's how. That is concerning, very disconcerting. So I don't like to be called a politician because I'm a civil rights person. And normally we don't win seats. Sometimes we don't, because what we do is live to power. But now it's time to change. I know Jesse tried to run, Al Sharpton tried to run, all of us tried to get in place. Even Dr. King probably would have ran, I believe, or he would have been murdered like he was. People need to understand that the difference in me and somebody that is in office is whole real. You're put in a seat, you're put in a race. It's a difference than a person that knows that this is what you're going to do to serve in this race. Like Chris said years ago, promised, oh, I'm going to support. I knew that was a lie because they got this group called what they Trump, whatever they call. I don't know what that is because I wouldn't even want to carry the name of a mafia. The bottom line is the people that you're putting in race. I looked at all the candidates and I had a good look last night. And I had to go home and talk and let my kids, because I had some recording. Look at this, my daughters and people that I like. This is a mess. And this is who wants to represent the people in a district. You might know where you live in that little confinement. You don't know this district. This district, Tamarack, it is Margate, which is the second largest. You have Lauderhill. You have that Oakland Park, all mixed. It's not what you think it is. You have Pompano. It ain't just 6 strong. You got to be larger than that. And you got to know all the issues that affect people. We know what affects Black people. That's about the same thing in every line that you go in. But what affects the other side of the pond, which is a very mixed and diverse group? You got Jamaicans, you got Haitians, you got Guatemalans, you got all kind of walks, all people that you need to be trying to serve. And if you can't do that, then what is your purpose? And then when you just win a seat, and Nornique, you already know this. We all ran together. That seat could have been given to you or somebody else that want to stay in line and serve those people in that district, that school district, because we have been dilapidated a long time. We had Oliphant was appointed by a Republican governor, Jeb Bush. You had Brenda Snipes appointed by a Republican governor. So don't be talking about Republicans can't put decent people in. They put them in, but you need to put people that want to be there. If you say you love your students and your people and all this, why did you not stay to serve them? You can get in this race. That's not a problem. But then your motivation is ill. It's ill will. And that's who I am. And I'm going to say this, I have 1,000 people working against me because they understand the dynamic. You ain't going to get me to do what you want me to do that is ill to my people. And that's why I am in this race. I'm going to keep moving. And I tell anybody, it takes a multitude to knock down a giant. And I will equate myself to that giant. And that's how I see it. When I say it is horrible, it is terrible out. But you just keep moving and you keep running, and I'll retire from it soon. And I'll take my bow and I'll move on.
All right.
Right.
All right. Well, now we want you to tell us how people can reach you, send you $5, $10. What's your website, your social media? How can people be supportive of your campaign as we close out here? And we're going to put that in the chat so everybody can see. And then close out by telling us, why we should support you, why are you the best candidate, and where we can reach you.
Well, I'm reached at 754-368-4485. I have a website. I don't have a clue what this man has written on his paper, but they can contact me via phone to get all of my information. who and what I am. We have a link to raise the money where they can submit donations. We are taking them because we're in desperate need of them. And the reason that I am the best qualified candidate because my motivation is for people, for service. It's not about money for me because I already have that in my own personal life. It's not about fame or fortune. It's about serving the district. I am a home girl, what I tell people. I have been in the game of fighting for people a long time. I have politicians all in my family. In fact, my family were one of those that were running one of the colleges in Auburn State University. I have a long history of who I am. I am a William Boy's daughter. And I say that because a lot of people, they know what that means. I have a long strain of history dealing with the district. I know how to talk to people. I know how to fight for people. And I have a proven record of doing so. And I am the most qualified candidate in this race. I know someone says they make policy, but without me, you wouldn't be able to make policy. I make it possible for you to make policy. I've worked with politicians to make sure that they would create a policy that would benefit in this district, throughout the state, in this country. I worked with Congressman the late Al Pace, Robert Wexler for many years. Pat Lockers. I sat with Carson Moore to work on things. So I'm not a stranger to what is needed. And I don't want to just serve a piece of my district, 33313. I want to serve the entire district of Broward County in this state. And that makes me separate and apart anyway. And I was not put in a race. I have my own mind. Our direction to lead me into the path of fairness and equality for all. Please vote Terry Ann Williams Edden to be your next state senator, and please turn your own ballots in. You have a paid stamp.
All right. All right. Well, thank you so much.
And you're on social. And what's your social media? Because I'm looking at. Are you on? You're on Facebook, Instagram.
She's on Facebook.
Facebook. Well, they are on Facebook. I have my.
Are you? So you're at Terry Ann Williams Edden, District 33 on Facebook. Is that your page?
Just Terry A. Williams.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we want to thank you for your time. We know that you have another interview forum with other entities. We wish you luck, and we wish you all, and everybody who's hearing it, please like, share, subscribe. Also, please call Miss Edden. She says that she could let you know where to donate and how to help her. I know you're going to be knocking on doors, so you may need volunteers. So please, please, please reach out to help, and we wish you luck. Oh, she dropped off. I think we were having some issues with the
internet and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So
I know she had another thing at 6:30. So.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, we did go with the time. We did go with the time.
We did go with the time. Okay.
All right.
So that was Terry Williams. Edden. I think she said it was Edden.
Edden. Yeah, she says Edden.
Edden. Yeah. So Terry Ann Williams Edden, who is running for Senate District 33. Yeah, she had a lot to say. She had a lot to say.
Yes, I got to actually clarify. I took my little notes while she was talking, so stuff makes sense.
Okay. Well, she seems really very she's this is the life. That's the life of a civil rights advocate, and she's really lived it. It's not something that she's just saying. She tells you who she's been with. Oh, here she goes.
She's coming back. Yay. Okay.
She says
coming back.
She's been with. Yeah, we know we had some issues. Yeah, but that's okay. We know you got somewhere to go, but we were finishing up. It's all good.
I said I had lost our connection. You hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We just can't see you yet. But yes, we did. Yeah, we can hear you.
But it's okay. We wrapped up, and then it's good for you to go because your thing starts in a few minutes.
Yeah, but if you wanted to have any last statements, any final thoughts, go ahead and make your final thoughts.
Can you hear us? I don't think she can hear us.
I don't think she can either. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna remove her off
until she get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Until she kind of
put in the chat. Yeah. So go ahead. You were talking. Go ahead.
So yeah. It's one of the things she mentioned. That a lot of civil rights leaders don't normally get elected in become elected officials, even though they run and they try. I think that it's I think that it's important that people get. I think it's great that people are able to see different candidates in different spaces and different lived experiences and different what's the word I'm looking for? Level. What's that word I'm looking for? Professional, like I guess professional acronym. It's always good to see that, and it's good to have a good diverse group of people. Sometimes it's like the same people, they're in the same clique and they're all running, but then you have people from different sides, but both all three know, because we are going to be talking to the Republican who's running for that seat. That's Joseph Carter next week, Wednesday. So everybody has a lot to bring to the table. And I think this race, I like this race because everybody is so different. There's not, a commonality, which makes it difficult, not difficult, but it makes people really pay attention and really kind of, vote for the person who best fits the ideology. So I think this is great. I think this race is a good race. Unfortunately, it's one that is just filling a seat because of the resign to run because it is governor. Yeah, so that's that. And then we are also looking for someone to come and talk to us about these maps and these redistricting and how does that affect us. I know that Broward, I was told, had voted already on the maps for Broward County. There will be 5 districts that will be heavily that are white districts. You have 2 that are Black, and then you have 2 that are Hispanic. And I think there's one.
Well, predominantly that they're going to be predominantly that demographic makeup.
Predominantly means all, in my opinion. And
no, it's not all. It's just predominantly in that and the makeup.
So that's what we're looking at with these maps here in Broward County. We have reached out to a couple of people, not just candidates, but other people who are part of the community, who are advocates, and also who want, our community to be more engaged politically. And so we will have great guests coming up. But we do have Joseph Carter coming up next week, Wednesday. We also have
I think we have some other things before that, right? Don't we have Elijah tomorrow?
Yes, we have Elijah
Manley tomorrow. And then we have we're supposed to have Daryl Campbell on Monday.
On the 13th.
So we do have,
and those two young men are running for District 94. Okay. And then you said we have who else?
So House District 94, we have Elijah Manley tomorrow, and then we have Daryl Campbell. He's also running for House District 94, and he's supposed to be on the 13th. He's on Monday.
Absolutely. And it's important that you all get to hear and speak and listen. And listen, we do put the link in the chat sometimes. So if you want to come up and talk to us, we always do. We always give people the opportunity to do that because we like to engage. And engaging gets you more involved, gets you wanting to be part of the political process. It's not a scary place. It's not a confusing place because this is a place that you are part of why they are there. You are part of why they have a job. So it's a place where it's your place, it's your space, and you have a right to say what you need to say. And these elected officials work for you. So and you know how it is when somebody works for you, they being insubordinate, they don't get to keep their job. So
they should not.
They don't get to keep their jobs. All right.
They will not be allowed to keep their job.
Not at all. What are your thoughts?
No, I think, she answered the question. Like I said, there were some things I needed her to clarify because I was like, you do like some of everything, don't you? Okay, so let's see how you can do all that. And so she was able, she answered my questions. I think she clarified that for folks that may have had some concerns. But so one, I do have like something because I was listening. Right. And I wanted to bring up some of the stuff that happened at the Dolphin meeting yesterday, but then it just kind of, the conversation didn't go in that direction. And it would have just been like, I'm putting in something that's really not fitting. And she talked about enough other stuff that I think was good enough to give a good impression of her. So we really didn't need to get into that. But I did see there was a part where she kind of praised Perry. And then she, I thought it was like a low key diss with the 30,000 ballots though. Right? She's like, well, I ain't never seen that everybody got the whole same number. It wasn't
she didn't just name Perry.
I know, but the Perry stood out for me because it's like she was just talking about him and work that he was doing for the area and all that. They said, yeah, I beat him. I had 18,000, and everybody got the 30,000. Him, the state attorney, who I think she works for, but okay. The supervisor of election and all of that. So that was like and I, again, it was time for her to go. I didn't want to bring that up, and she didn't have enough time to like respond to that or anything like that. But that was so my takeaway was that like I was like, oh, okay, because that's like a bit of a suggestion. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of, well, I'm gonna call it suggested. It might be an accusation. I don't know what it is, but I don't know. I don't know how that 30,000.
Well, I ran in that race. So I was running in that race.
You ran it. Oh yeah, you did run. You ran in that race.
I did run in the race that she's talking about with the 30,000 votes. And
but I don't think any of your the people that were in your race got 30,000.
No.
But I think the 30,000 votes were in the general election, right? Or was it in the primaries?
I think it wasn't a general election.
It had to be in the primaries, right? Because then Perry came out of the primaries.
Yes, and it wasn't. Yes,
it was in the primaries. It was in the primaries.
That is correct.
Okay.
It wasn't the primaries. But the round number in the people that she mentioned was consistent.
No. So Tamiko's saying you got 30,000 votes. That ain't what we talking about. It was like people got votes and then some 30,000. It was like whatever they got plus 30,000. So some people had 48,000, 50,000 votes.
I had that extra 30,000 because
you would have won.
I'm talking to you as a school board representative rather than
and not on this show.
Well, not on this show, obviously not, right? No, the 30,000 was in addition to whatever
they got.
So if you looked at everybody's number across the board, they all had an additional 30,000.
So
for me, you
ain't get the 30,000.
I didn't get it, child. Okay. I wasn't part of that clique, whatever clique that was, whatever she was saying it was. I wasn't part of that, so I didn't. Unfortunately, I wasn't chosen.
I guess that's the messy part of the show. What we do? That's the messy part of the show.
I'm saying you brought it up.
No, she brought it up. She talked about the 30,000 ballots and was throwing name kind of like. Then she said it wasn't 31,000. So I'm like, what does that mean? She's like, they all got the same number as 30,000 votes. All right. So yeah, that was the only part that was kind of like side-eyed. I was like, I don't know, but you had enough time to address it. So she wants to come back and talk to us and explain the 30,000 vote comment.
You can still give somebody a compliment and a little bit of shade.
It ain't supposed to be no shade. She the one who said the 30,000 votes was some shade. So if she wants to come back, Ms. William Edden, if you want to come back and explain the 30,000 vote comment,
she said something nice about him, and then she said the 30,000.
She did. She said some nice things about Perry.
You could give compliments and shade.
Oh, you said she could do that? Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, she could give a compliment and some shade. That's okay.
I don't know. That 30,000 sounded like more than just shade. That was like,
I don't know. I don't know. But listen, guys, we want to thank you for coming. And when we have an opportunity to talk about Caucasity Corner, I have my own Caucasity. Do you know today another white woman upset me and was trying me again? It's like I got a magnet for them to be like, oh, I'm gonna mess with you today. I had to pray and bring in my Zen moment so I won't have to come out the car, child.
Well, you joined the Peloton cult, so there's some meditation on the app.
That's right. I may have to jump on that bad boy tonight because
so get one of them. They got all types of meditation, get into happiness, the Zen and 10. So hey, do like a Zen and 10 meditation, and you'll be all right.
I was gonna snatch somebody's soul out their body today, child.
And then when you're in the drop off, just let a calming meditation play. You can't close your eyes, just kind of let it play.
And I have my spa music on today. I have my spa music on, and she still was able to get up under my skin. But I digress.
It's a work in progress. It is moving forward.
And I had my child in the car. My child was like, "Mom, please, just let it go. Don't even look. Don't even look." So I'm gonna let that go. But listen, remember, guys, we still have legislative session starting in January.
January 11th. Is it January 11th, right? The day of the election.
But you all need to understand that DeSantis can't stay. You know why DeSantis can't stay? Because there's 3 districts starting January that has no representation because of this.
Now, 94.
They're not going to be.
Was it 94, 88, and
33?
Well, Senate District 33, House District 94, and House District 88.
No representation, people.
Not enough.
No representation. Okay. So while everybody's up there during sessions and they're making bills and you're voting on them, District 33, District 94, District 88 has no one to speak for that.
The primary for those races are on that day, are on January 11th, but the actual election is not until March 8th, which is 3 days before the session ends. So they're probably never going to be able to participate in the session at all.
And that should be to everyone. Everyone should say, oh, so you don't care nothing about no people in District 33. You don't care nothing about no people in District 88, and you care nothing about people in District 94. He don't care because if he cared about those districts, he would have made sure that they had representation. The fact that they don't have representation. Okay.
So Elijah is saying they'll be settled on the 11th, but Elijah, the actual race isn't until March 8th. So it'll be someone's going to come out of the primary on the 11th, but they're not going to get voted for until March 8th, right? That's my understanding, Elijah. You could clarify that in the chat for me.
Do you want us to put what is the? I don't know what the link is.
Okay, I can put it in.
Okay, if you want to hop on Elijah, but from our understanding, the district.
He said 94 has no primary.
Oh, okay.
So why? So Senate District 33 is the one that has the primary. Because Osgood was saying like their race isn't until the 8th. Okay. The link is in the chat, Elijah. You can go ahead and click on it.
So isn't Elijah's
his interview's tomorrow? But he could clear this up.
No, I'm saying, but isn't his race a Senate race?
No, his is a House. He's House. He's a House.
Okay.
All right. So he said that one has no primary.
Okay, so that makes a difference.
Okay, so all right, so then they're gonna so he'll be able to. Okay, so they're gonna start working on the 11th.
All right. Well,
so House District 94, and so click. Okay, good. So 94 and 88.
But it's still not fair, though. It's still not fair because you got somebody jumping in and have to.
No, but that's the beginning of the session, so they'll be fine. They'll be able to.
No, but they didn't get to go to committees and all that other stuff or whatever. That's how some of those things are thing or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay. But I mean, I still don't think it's fair.
I like to hear that. That sounds better than what I thought it was, so I'm good with that.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Elijah.
Thank
you for checking us, for giving us that correct information, because I was confused.
Yeah, we were confused too.
I actually got my ballot today. My ballot came today.
Hey, yeah, it's everyone's confused about it. It's the governor really tore us a new one this time, so I just wanted to let you guys know that.
So your seat is a House seat that you're running for, correct?
Yeah, it's a House seat, and the election for that, because no Republican filed to run, surprisingly, is just.
Okay, that's why.
That's why.
Now that makes sense. Okay.
But unfortunately, for the other two districts, they got to wait until March 8th. So.
Okay, that's what. Okay, so all right, so we were right in the way it would have been had there been a Republican in that race. Okay, all right, now that makes sense. Because Republicans ain't on my ballot, so I didn't know that.
Okay. All right.
I didn't know that.
Okay, so that's good.
So we had the process right. It's just because there was no Republican running. Which, I mean, that was a smart move on their part. Why waste your money?
That's true.
Why waste the money? Why waste the time?
So there's how many people running in your race, Elijah? There's 3, you and 2 other people, right?
There are 4 of us running. And it's me, Mr. Campbell, Mr. Eglishan, and Mr. Kemp.
Oh, Kemp.
Oh, that's the one that sent me the email. I forwarded you that email. His name like Roderick or something like that.
Roderick Kemp. Yep.
Oh yeah. Okay. He sent me an email.
He just can't send you no email. He got to. If he wants to.
I forwarded it to you too. So we're gonna reach out to them. Remember that?
You want to read. You need to be. You want to come. You come to us. Come. Why are we looking for you? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
No, look at him. No, he sent me an email. That was unsolicited. I did not reach out to him.
I'm kidding. All right. So there's 4
no comment about any of this.
No comment. You don't got to say nothing. All right. But we talking to you tomorrow at 5:30.
Yeah. We talking to you tomorrow. Yeah, we're excited about our conversation with you, honey, because we saw you yesterday, child. We got questions.
I got some answers for you.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you for checking us, and we really appreciate that. And so we can't wait to see. Hey, everybody who's watching now, we will be talking to Elijah tomorrow at 5:30. Listen, this brother is on point. Okay. Don't be talking about people age, because there's people coming here. They hungry and they ready, honey. Okay.
Yeah.
This kid knows.
What did he say? What did he say last election cycle? He had people scrambling like roaches.
Hey, I got them scrambling like roaches again now. They don't know what to do. So we about to bring out the raid. So, but I'm gonna save all of that for later.
You need to, honey. We can listen to simmer down. We need all of that. We need all of that tomorrow. just give people a little snippet. A little snippet. All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow, brother.
All right, see you tomorrow.
All right.
Okay, bye. Never disappoints.
He never disappoints.
He said he had them scrambling like roaches. I was like, oh Lord. Okay.
And he came close. He really did. He came close last time. Gave an elder elected official a run for his money.
My favorite Gator. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're your Gator Nation.
My favorite Gator. You have
No, but he
my
really
brother out.
he stood his own.
Yeah, he was stressing my brother out though, but he held his own. He did. He held his own.
I'm excited to talk to him tomorrow. He did. Well, anyway, guys, before we leave, I want to remind everybody that we still have money in Broward for rental assistance because of this pandemic, right? So ourflorida.com is the website that you go. Renters as well as landlords can apply for rental assistance up to 12 months. Apparently is the Department of Children and Families who is doing this distribution. So apply. The last I checked, there was about 40,000 applications and they were going through them. So there's over $1.5 billion to help out. So I think that, I implore you to sign up for that. Go for that. If you need some rental assistance, you're having some issues, and you've been affected by the pandemic, this is a great resource to get you where you need to be. We didn't get to talk about some of the cases. So Kyle Rittenhouse was acquitted. However, the murderers for Ahmaud Arbery were all found guilty. Critical race theory seems to be still a debate. Especially now in the collegiate part of our educational institution. I hear there's a couple of colleges and universities are having issues with their professors, basically telling their professors to stay away from the word critical and race, or critical and theory, or whatever. I believe I heard that one professor was fired from their job. So that seems to be a common theme. Smokes and mirrors, however you want to take it in there. The winner for the Democratic Party, as you all know, is the 20th district was Sheila Sheffers McCormick. She will now face off with two independents, one libertarian on January 11th. We believe that Mrs. McCormick will be victorious. And when she is, I am very excited and highly anticipate my $1,000 a month. Can't wait to get it. I'm excited. I want it so damn bad. You don't know what I could do with it.
All right. I ain't gonna say nothing to you.
We had that conversation. I thought
Dale done sued about that $1,000, talking about that was a bribe.
Listen, you can't bribe nobody if people understand.
Dale said that was a bribe. That was bribing voters.
Well, if it was a bribe, then I sure will be happily accepting my $1,000 a month. Okay, because I want my coins. I want my coinage. I meet the criteria, whatever the criteria was. I can't wait to get my $1,000 a month. I'm excited to see a woman come in and see a problem and say, if people could get $1,000 a month, that would help them tremendously. And I believe that it will. And I just can't wait to get my money. That's all. I'm waiting for them. I listen. I believe Mrs. McCormick will be victorious. And when she is, that $1,000 is that's like her prosperity plan was all she talked about. I think that she's going to push
she talked about economic, empowerment too.
Yeah, and I think that that's what she's going to do. She's going to push it, and I think that she's going to make waves in Congress. And you never know, she might be that shining light that get us that $1,000 a month.
I'm here for it.
I'm here for it. It has also been noted that both Mr. Holness as well as Ms. Sharif have stated that they will run again in August of 2022. Yes, that's around the corner, because as you all remember, the late great Alcee Hastings passed away in the middle towards the end of his term. And so if Mrs. McCormick is victorious in January, she will be taking up that part of that term. And that term does end August 2022. So there will be an election.
Wait, no. That term doesn't end. Not August. End in August. No, the primaries for the next seat is in August, but it ends in January of 2020.
Right. I'm sorry. It ends in January, but they still, but there will be voting because August is the primary.
And then the election is the general election is in November, and the term actually ends in January of 2023.
Okay. So basically that, she's going to have to continue, if she is victorious in January, campaigning on.
She's still campaigning.
She's still campaigning
the whole time.
So her plate is full because she has to campaign, and if she wins, she has to work on this $1,000 coming up and all her economic plans. So that's a lot for her to. And
hopefully the DNC will help. You know what I mean? Like,
and I think the DNC should help. I mean, if she's going to be that robust, they need to be even more robust and say, hey, we got to get behind this girl and get these people their $1,000. I am all for it. What's his name again? Jamie. If you can hear the sound of our voices, don't let Miss McCormick hanging now. Y'all got to get her to get that money. Okay, because people in Pahokee, people in Broward, we all count
in District 20. We want it.
They really need that $1,000 a month, and so we're all supporting that. We get behind it. We are getting on that train. Getting on that train. All right. So next
tomorrow,
like Manling at 5:30.
Yes.
Monday. We have Daryl Campbell. And then on Wednesday, we have Joseph Carter. He is the Republican running
for Senate District 33.
Yeah. So we're going to have a conversation with them. We invite everybody. We had the Libertarian on, you know what I mean? We try to reach out to the independents, but nobody responded. I mean, it is what it is, but we open our doors to everybody. We talk to everybody. We ain't got to get along. We ain't got to even agree. So
we're going to get along. We just ain't going to necessarily agree on everything.
That's true. We can get along. We just don't have to agree on it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so this was great. We got some important. We got civil rights leaders. We have,
that was the thing that I went to a point I wanted to make about that. So remember how she was saying, I don't want to be called a politician. I'd rather be called a civil rights leader. So that reminded me of a conversation that happened during the last election cycle where, people were, and it was a thing, Angela Rye was involved in that, right? And they were criticizing her because she was criticizing Biden. Remember when she was talking about Biden?
Yes.
We were like, listen, everyone was like, listen, please don't talk about him because we need to make sure Biden wins because Trump just had to go, right? And because she's an activist, right? She was like, well, activists are supposed to be activists, right? We talk about if we're not politicians. We're not necessarily supporting one particular political party over another. We're talking about the issues, right? So she said, as an activist, I could talk about him and the things that he's doing that's against, like people of color and Black people and all of this kind of stuff, because I'm an activist. I'm not a politician. So, so even though Ms. Edden she calls herself a civil rights activist, which all the things that she's done, that's correct. However, she's gonna become a politician, right? And there are times where that activism and being a politician are not on the same page. So it's gonna be interesting to see how she works both of those things, because those roles oftentimes have very different demands and they have different requirements on how you address particular issues.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think with her tenacity, I believe I can see her pivoting in certain areas or whatever, but it will be a transition.
Maybe adjusting, No, well, I mean, whatever. She's going to have to do something because the activism and the politics of it all is going. They're going to bump heads.
Yeah, it depends on what it is. I think there needs to be some pivoting, you know. But the transition to that pivoting point will be something that she would have to kind of work on and see how that goes for her. But I totally agree with you. You're absolutely right. It's two different hats.
You're doing different things. Yeah,
they will clash at some point, and they will. So at some point she's gonna have to choose that or the other. So that's very.
We're watching Republicans fall in line and not doing the right thing at all. You know, I'm like, yo, just do the right thing. They're like, yo, we got to fall in line.
Listen, I don't know who Matt Gates or Getz or whatever the hell his name is, where he represents, but he's
in North Florida. He
made a comment about when they take over, because you see how they're working, right? All they're talking about is trying to get the House and the Senate. They're talking about once they get the majority, he is going to make the former president the Speaker of the House. How that's going to happen, I don't know. But that's how they talk.
That's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen. The point is that Democrats.
That's not going to happen.
It's not, but I'm just saying. The point is, Democrats, I don't know what y'all doing.
They would have to, if he tried to do that, they would have to just go ahead and indict Trump or whatever they got. Just go with what you got. Just go ahead and indict him, because then make him ineligible. You know what I mean? Because they got information. They just trying to keep being nice, trying to get these people to cooperate. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Just arrest them and hold them in contempt, like y'all did the lady. What's her name? McDougal, like Clinton's friend. Yeah, like Bill Clinton's friend, when she didn't want to cooperate with them, they indicted her, held her in contempt, and had her in the feds for 18 months. These old Republicans, they're not going to do all that time if you lock them up. You know what I'm saying? They're going to start running their mouth, you know, so they need to just get tough with them.
Biden need to go ahead and open up a can of whoop ass.
That's on the Senate, and that's like the House and stuff. They need to put on some their big girl panties on and just do what they know they should be doing. But I suspect if for some unfortunate reason Republicans do take over the House and the Senate and they try to make Trump the Speaker of the House, he gonna get indicted. They're gonna find a way to make that not happen. Because if even if folks are still in denial, that man, for the time that he became president, he has caused like some extremely negative consequences to be existing in this country right now. A lot of the crazy thing that we see with the Karens and the this and the these people and all this foolishness, a lot of that is directly related to the way he was politicking for the 4 years that he was in office. He caused a lot of division.
He did.
Yeah. So he talking about Biden. You know, hey, Biden need to toughen up. Like, you know, I'm on that.
Listen, we don't go along to get along. We have nothing but criticism for them too, honey. All right, Biden and Kamala need to tighten the hell up. Period.
Yeah. I mean, they to me, Trump was not an option. So that's since they were all we had. I had to go with it. But I'm not. They could definitely be doing way more than they're doing right now. So they're not going to be getting my praises right now. But I do know in 2020, Trump had to go. So on that, I was like, yep, I'm gonna fall in line. I'm gonna vote this way. But in terms of like right now, like thinking that everything they're doing is great and fantastic, no, they're leaving a lot to be desired.
They are not above reproach, honey.
Yeah, they're leaving a lot to be desired.
A lot to be desired, and not just the Biden and Harris administration. There's quite a few Democrats across the nation that's sitting here and not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So I'm just, to me, it's just like, y'all got to tighten up and get it together. I don't know what y'all doing, but what's going on now ain't it for us. Yeah, because 2020 to me, that was, how some people always like, it's just the lesser of the two evils. And I was like, no, but 2020 was literally the lesser of the two evils. Like, I was like, you know what? I got to choose the lesser of the two evils. That's right.
Yeah, there were several options on the ballot, but they weren't viable. They were not winning. You know what I mean? I needed to pick somebody that was going to win.
We're talking to Mr. Neptune.
Yeah, that's our friend. But no, there were other options, but they were not viable. We needed to make sure that 45 ain't win. That's all I can say.
Right. I totally agree. And the ones that were halfway decent, that was what I would consider in the runnings or whatever and stuff like that, they would not have gotten the support.
Yeah, not that they should not have been viable. They really should have. Like, we do really need to find a way to give third-party candidates a bigger voice and a bigger platform. I absolutely agree with that. So people can have an alternative. But the way 2020 was set up, the
way 2020 was set up for us, it was like we were drowning and we were waiting for that what's that
dude had to go. Like that man had to go.
And I'm telling you, we grabbed that tube with every fiber of our beings.
That's what we nails. Yeah, that guy had to go. And you see what he did on January 6th. So he had to go. Like, this man allowed these people to go and like destroy the Capitol. That man, he had to go.
Right.
He could not have been the president for another 4 years.
I'm telling you, although there was viable there were several options. I would have voted for a pencil at this point.
I said a Muppet. I was here for it.
I couldn't even do it no more, Mr. Neptune. It wasn't just like an option.
Kermit the Frog for president. I would have took that.
But that being said, as you can see, they are not above reproach. And what's going on now, it ain't it for me at all.
The Biden-Harris administration is disappointing.
It's no bueno for me.
They're disappointing.
Disappointing at best.
They're disappointing.
I can't.
All righty.
Okay, well, so we'll see you all tomorrow, and we'll see you again on Monday, and we'll see you again on Wednesday because we have a full calendar.
We got an election January 11th, and we got to get them all in before the holidays.
Listen, for all of you all who have that Democrat on your ballot, you got Mrs. McCormick, and then you have 2 independents. Can't remember their name, but I will get their names back. And then we have our
the Libertarian, Mark Martinet,
Mike
Termat.
We remember him because Mr. Neptune's was on our show. Yes, so, but the other 2 will get their names next week. And I'm telling you, man, get behind the $1,000.
Isn't that felon? The felon is on there. The Republican felon? Did he make it?
Yeah, the convict. I think the convict made it. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't seen them in action, go to the League of Women Voters. They had a whole panel with them last night. Yesterday. It was videotaped. If you go on Facebook, type in League of Women Voters. I believe
Broward. League of Women Voters Broward.
League of Women Voters Broward. There's a whole panel with them along with Mrs. McCormick, and you can see them all there for full display. I didn't get to see it. I plan on watching it tonight. And I heard it was a very spirited conversation. It was virile, and I'm excited to go see. So please make sure you get a chance.
And it's not that we weren't doing anything. We were watching. The Dolphins Democrats had a panel with House District 94 and Senate District 33 candidates yesterday, and they were at the same time. So we were participating in that.
And normally we tag team, and
but we needed to listen.
But we needed to
focus.
Yeah. So because we were having those candidates on our show, so we had to kind of make a sacrifice and listen to what was going on with that. However, we'll see you all tomorrow. We thank you for joining us. If you want to be on our show, all you have to do is join the show.
Slide into the DMs.
Slide in the DMs and say, hey, I want to join you. And if it's something we're talking about and you feel like you need to get it in,
let us know.
Put the link in the chat. We'll let you come on and we'll let you have a conversation.
Yeah, so Mike Termat is the Libertarian that's on
Mike Termat, that's the name that we have on there. He is running. Yes, he's running. So you all have options, right? You all have options. All right.
And School Board District 4.
Oh, that's right.
Candidate to run against Miss Allardyce.
Yeah, we don't believe in people running
unopposed. So
even if you are
y'all live in those areas, consider running for school board, please.
Coral Springs, Parkland, Tamarack, Margate. I think that's what the district.
The boundaries are
right. Somebody needs to run against her.
Yes, we need y'all to run for school board. We'll help you fundraise, and I'll canvas for you. I will, for real. Like for real.
She should not be running unopposed, people. She should not.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. I will go. I will hand out flyers for you.
Okay, all day, every day.
I'll talk to some people.
All right, then. All right. So we're gonna close out with our little commercial. We're gonna try to switch it up in a little bit, but enjoy, and then we'll see you all tomorrow.
5:30.